Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Galaxy of Heroes video with me, your bold boy Scribe. So a couple of days ago we did a bit of a GAC recap video and I thought I'd do that again. It was kind of fun. I enjoyed that. Got me to actually think about my GAC matches and how I actually beat things again, because I have the memory of a goldfish and I can't remember what this video is supposed to be about already. Anyway, let's go ahead and check out the opponent that I faced in first round of this week. Coming into the finals here, 3-0 might be on the cards. I don't know, it could get iffy squiffy. Anyway, let's check out our opponent. So here we are, myself, Scribe, versus B.A. Mara. He is from the 99th Bad Batch. How are we shaping up over here? I'm 14.5 million, he's 14.4. More or less even Stevens there on the old G-penis. No real differences, quite happy with that. In terms of Omicron, I do have a significant amount more Omicrons, but a lot of mine are TW ones. He actually has 4 more GAC Omicrons than I do, but I have slightly more Zetas. Average speed on the mods looks like he is eking me out over here. I've got slightly better in some regions, and I've got more Gear 13s. When it comes to mod data analysis, he's got a lot more in the 6 dot region. I've got a lot more in the 25 plus, but he has significantly more when you're looking at the 20 to 24. So he's got that big broad middle of his speed sets. Overall, it's paying off with a better average speed because he has got more speed mods to go around. You know, he's got an extra 130 odd additional speed mods to throw on all of his characters, making the average speed of his roster much better than mine. And that's okay. Looks like I have him slightly beat out on offense mods, but not materially so. I'd say we've probably evened out a little bit there. And looks like defense mods he also has a lot better than me. But there we go, c'est la vie. When it comes to relic analysis, I do have the advantage here. 2 relic 10s, 1 is on Wampa though, so it's not that great, and more relic 9s. I'm not going to bother looking at the GLs. Yes, it's all the good business. I have an R10 Leviathan fleet, but we always save it for offense. Anyway, let's start checking out the match. Our first battle, we decided to actually do a little bit of testing, seeing as this was round 1. We're going up against a Tank Kron GL Ahsoka Tano, featuring Hu Yang and obviously the R9 triple Omicron Ezra that everybody loves to face off against. Now, I didn't think that this would work, but I thought we'd have some fun with it. I was hoping that the Attackacron would be able to do us some good stuff here. We've got high levels of crit chance, so if Knight's Sister Spirit does get that crit, she's probably going to one-tap someone. And I thought, I don't have a full use for my Great Mothers at this point. Normally, I wouldn't dare take in this team versus this. So I focus on Hu Yang first, because I want to try and get the advantage, stop the Ahsoka from getting to ult, hopefully, and we see from there. So immediately she goes down into the taunt. We've got the blast over on Spirit for the extra damage. I'm just going to go ahead and dispel any buffs that we've got. We nearly actually got Hu Yang out with that 1 assist. Then we put the Doomed over there on Ezra, and they proceed to just absolutely mog me, which is a little bit scary. But there we go. We immediately lose our girl Morgan Elspeth over there, and they're just obviously going in after Great Mothers because we do not have a third person, and we were stealthed. We lose Great Mothers. I go for the lucky hit. Boom. Okay, let's just go back again real quick. I want to see that hit again. So obviously Ezra has got high levels of evasion, so he is going to evade quite a bit, but 538,000 damage from an R7 Spirit. That is impressive. Now, obviously, we lose this match, but we have essentially crippled the team at this point. You know, we've taken out Ezra and we've taken out Hu Yang, so we're just left with a solo cleanup for Glat. Not an ideal situation. Oftentimes, in Kyber 1, if you drop a battle, that's kind of it, you're over. But we'll see how this one shapes out, right? Next fight, we're going in with my favorite counter to PK Hondo. If they don't have OG Hondo, this is my go-to. Seer, Starkiller, Malacos, throw in the Attackacron, and you're going to have a good time, right? Typically, you want to try and take out whoever the third is who's not Vane or PK Hondo with Malacos. You can ignore taunts, you just throw the rocks at them, and they usually get yeet, yeet, skeet, deleted. Boom, 400k, see ya Brutus, you're not coming back. No revives in this team, thanks to Malacos' Omicrons. After this, it's usually pretty plain sailing. You could probably put it on full auto, because the amount of damage that you do is just obnoxious. They're not really going to be able to get around you, so Go ahead, have some fun. Even Vane over here, he's only relic 7. Oftentimes I'm seeing like R8, R9 Vanes. So this one was a little bit easier for me to deal with. I believe my Malacos is actually relic 8. So we've got a +1 relic delta there, which is giving us like a 5% uplift in damage. Throw that in with the additional damage that you're getting with, you know, the Attackacron, and all of a sudden you do significant damage. Look how tanky that Vane is though. We're hitting him for like 90,000 and it's just moving his protection ever so slightly. This guy is a chonky boy. He does have the Pyrocron with the 15% additional health and protection, all that good business. So yeah, that's why it's so hard to actually chew through him. And when he does his basic, of course, he is giving himself additional defense as well. Huge damage coming out of Starkiller there, thanks to all the buffs that they had. The Attackacron just doing crazy damage based on the number of buffs on the enemy team. They are hanging in there. It's taken up a little bit of time, but I'm not too concerned just yet. I know that Malacos is going to get the job done eventually. I'm trying to save the Starkiller fleet, because I was like, oh, we could get a full heal. Didn't really matter. We got there anyway. It's a good match there. Next up, we're going up against Lord Vader and the Dark Side clones. Full R9s, Attackacron, it's scary business. I like to take in a safe team here. So I'm going with C with Bane, using the Jawacron, which gives us like 80% additional attack and 70% additional health, or something like that. Might be 60% extra health. Those two stats are basically all Bane needs to deal great damage, and all C needs in order to survive. So yes, you can do this with just like Bane +1, but it's got about a 14-15% less success rate. It's about a 70-ish% success rate, whereas C Bane is like 84-85%. So I like to try and be safe where I can, because there's just no point risking an entire GAC over something like this, because we've already dropped the battle versus Glat. We definitely want to play it safe going forward here. So we've linked Apo and Lord Vader. We just need to get rid of that Apo as soon as possible and hopefully take care of CX2. I'm saving the ult because I'm essentially gaining additional mastery by these guys being linked using abilities, so that when we eventually do the ult, it's going to double our current mastery. So the longer that we can leave it safely, the more powerful that C is going to become, essentially. Now, we don't have to worry too much about Vane taking too much damage here. We've got good defense, we've got good health, we've got really good Datacron, and he's just incredibly sturdy. He takes reduced damage from percentile health effects anyway, so that Order 66 is not really... it's not a threat. I'm just trying to play it cool and collected here. Let Bane do his things, ramp up his mastery so he's gaining more and more max health, and we're going to be okay. Big hits, boom, just down to Lord Vader now. He's gone into ult, he had no masteries to steal from his allies, so we can pretty much at this point just put it on full auto. I'm pretty sure I actually don't go into ult at all here, because I'm like, I'd rather have the first special to heal rather than put out a shock or something like that. You don't really need to worry too much about the shock. I'd rather try and think about banner efficiency at this point. Now, Bane can't actually siphon the mastery from Lord Vader, but every time you use that second special, even if you're targeting Vader, you are still gaining mastery. It's just Lord Vader isn't losing the mastery. GLs can't have their mastery dropped. So, there you go, 37. Not too bad. Apologies, I missed. I originally went in versus Lord Vader with JML and Jedi Knight Cal Kestis. Now, this is a super risky counter. I did this because I wanted to test how much damage this team does with the Attackacron. Cal, in 3v3, JML Cal, I can usually go in and take out Apo, and that cripples the Vader team, so you can clear him up with something like Bo-Katan, even with the Attackacron, right? Unfortunately, we got the AoE off, and I believe Lord Vader... oh no, he did get ability blocked. I thought he dodged the attack, but it's okay. We got the ability block on. I'm just trying to swap things around here, try to make sure we take care of Apo nice and quick. As you know, it doesn't work out in our favor. I increased the cooldowns on Lord Vader, put ability block, and I put ability block and tenacity down on him to try and control him. Unfortunately, I believe we get into a lot of trouble with Cal Kestis, and he just gets ripped. As soon as Lord Vader takes a turn, when he's got that AoE available, it's kind of game over, unfortunately, because he just drops that and our characters get melted. So trying to build up over here, I used the wrong ability there, only getting to the 15 instead of the 20. The AoE drops, we pretty much die. Look at that, we've got 8 dots on us at the moment. I'm trying to think of something. We've got days, we can't heal up, we can't call to assist, that sort of thing. It's like, what do we do? What do we do, guys? I try to dispel the buffs over there on the Nightfall Troop at the back, try to get the stun, no such luck. Immediately lose my mace, the Attackacron doing its work, and then Cal dies, and I'm like, So we just back out. And that's how we get back to where we were. So we go in now to clear up that lone glat. And I'm going to use Bo-Katan Mandalore here with Paz Vizsla and IG-12 and Grogu. So we could use BAM instead of Paz Vizsla, of course, and that's probably a little bit safer, but I just wanted to try this team. That's just kind of all it is, really. I didn't take anything too special in terms of datacrons here, but anything that you've got that's going to increase your survivability or damage output is generally going to be okay. So yeah, it starts off, it's a real slow burn versus this team because you need that time to get your ancestral resolve stacks up there, so you're actually doing more damage with the true damage. Because people like to rag on Glat, but she is a tanky beast. She will take an absolute kicking and still come out smiling. So it's just a long one here. I'm actually going to speed this one up to try and make sure that we can see it in good time. So I'm going to change the playback speed to 1.75 times. Let's go. So yeah, it's just a long one. I believe we actually lose Paz here, so I probably should have taken in BAM so that we could have done the damage immunity. We could have got Whistling Birds to increase the stacks of Ancestral Resolve a little bit quicker. All that good business. It's those counter-attacks from Ahsoka that really kill us here, because she's constantly chipping away at that Paz, and he's obviously looking to taunt because he's a tank and he's doing his job. But as you can see, over time, that damage is significant, and Paz gaining turn meter as well as hurting him under Glat's leadership. So it's not an ideal person to use here. All right, so we're just down to Bo-Katan, and we're adding those armor shred stacks up there slowly but surely until we get to use our reinforcements have arrived ability, and that's usually where all the damage is. The other good side about having just IG and Bo, which is a thought actually, I probably could have just gone in just IG and Bo, is that when you do the basic with IG-12 and Grogu, he's always going to call in Bo, which means you get additional damage there. You're not got accidentally calling in Paz or BAM if you were using BAM. Might actually try that in the future, see if we can actually just manage using just IG-12 and Bo on a scenario where I'm got to clean up on Ahsoka Tano. Could be worth trying. Could be worth trying, saving yourself a little bit of banners. She does have the tank revive cron, of course, which is dragging things out. As you can see, we are 2 minutes left on the clock, basically. But as you can see, she's not managed to ult yet. We're really hoping she doesn't get the chance to ult, because if she does, full heal, increase our cooldowns, but we got there in the end. Next up, we have got Gungans versus Ethano. Now, this was a weird one. It's got Ethano with Silvo. Silvo obviously has the GAC Omicron, and you've got Hondo, who also has his GAC Omicron. I don't know if they actually had the correct datacron here, but this one can be frustrating because essentially there's just so much foresight going on, and they've got quite a bit of cleansing action. I quite like Gungans. They're quite useful in a lot of ways. They can counter a lot of teams, but sometimes it can be very frustrating to kill through the right characters at the right time, especially when they're all stealthing all the time, they're cleansing all the time, they've got foresight all the time. It gets really frustrating. That being said, the pirate faction I do think is actually one of the best factions CG has ever released. It feels like bounty hunters way back in the day, you know, where every bounty hunter had a leadership. There was some that had some really cool niche uses, and you could just mix and match the players and they would make some cool teams. I feel like pirates are actually that faction. You can get, you know, Maz is really good, Pirate King Hondo's really good, Ethano is still really good, Quigold is amazing, Silver is great, Brutus does loads of damage, Smee does loads of damage. It's like, it's a really diverse faction. I do really enjoy it. As you can see, this team was frustrating me quite a bit. We're a minute into the game and basically the enemy team hasn't even been hurt. They've got lots of evasion, lots of foresight, frustration beyond. So I'm just going to speed this one up. Away we go. I'm trying to take out Silvo just because I know he has an Omicron in this. I just want to get rid of him. Slowly but surely we do start ticking away at them. Look at those three stacks of exposures over there. Hondo getting the death mark is absolutely ideal. Nearly took him out and he just cleansed it immediately. God damn it, Hondo. Why do you do this to me? Why do you do this to me? And then he's back up. He's got 50 stacks of contract right now, and he's got all of his health back. So he's going to be a pain. I believe we might actually time out versus Hondo because we can't keep the death mark on him. He just keeps gaining turn meter, and every time he gains that turn meter, he's just going to dispel his death mark. So I am trying to get rid of Ethano, so at least if we go into a cleanup mode, we don't have to worry about there being a leadership anymore. So it shouldn't be too long now. Of course, Ethano gets the revive as well, because I think it's when he has 5 stacks of profit the first time he dies. I can't remember now. So anyway, he's gone and we put it on full auto, and I'm pretty sure that we just time out against this Hondo now, because every time we manage to land the Every time we manage to land the death mark, he just immediately takes a turn and cleanses it off. There's the death mark, takes a turn. It's like, come on, I just want to be able to hit you once. Stupid Hondo, laughing at me the whole time. As you can see, we've got a minute left, and we haven't even clutched through his bonus protection yet, let alone his actual protection. There we go, he's down to protection and all of his turns, and he's going all the way back up. Frustration beyond. So yeah, we drop on that one. Just a solo Hondo though to clear up. Next up, we're going to take on the crew team. This is crew using it's crew using Darkside Vision Ray, and I believe it was the TIE Fighter pilot with the TIE Fighter pilot Omicron and an Attackacron. This thing can do scary good damage, like scary good. 3v3 Ray, that lightning that she does, amplify that with the Attackacron, it gets nutty. Alright, so the reason people put this team on defense is because in the current meta, you see by Basti straight away, in the current meta with the Attackacron and the TIE Fighter pilot Omicron, Special Forces TIE Fighter pilot Datacron, you don't actually need Darkside Vision with Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. So people like to try and use a team like this that's going to sap banners, put it on defense, just to get a little bit of extra banner use, because you're not going to use her on offense anyway, because you don't need it. You can go slacker and just the Special Forces TIE Fighter pilot to really good effect. So I'm taking care of the ones that have got the Omicrons first, then it's down to crew. I use the life drain here because when we get to 3 stacks, we'll be able to put tenacity down and heal immunity on crew with Malak, which gets rid of his annoying ability to constantly heal up. I don't think there's any risk of me losing this battle at this point. Into full auto we go and just have a good time. And eventually, yeah, we chew through the crew. So, big hits, boom, love to see it. So, we go to take care of that lone PK Hondo, not PK Hondo, OG Hondo, and I decide, you know what, we're just going to CLS it. I don't want Hondo taking a turn or anything like that, capturing anybody. Let's just nuke him out of existence before he can do anything. This is usually the use that I get out of CLS these days, is just go before they do, take out the key unit. Next up, I do another one of my favorite counters. I see Reva on defense. That to me screams GL Ahsoka Tano solo. She handles this team really, really well. Now, you do have to be concerned, obviously, if they have got a particularly good Datacron, if they've got loads of relic advantage and all that sort of stuff, they can actually just out-damage you. But if you're relatively confident in your abilities with your Ahsoka Tano, you can actually clear this team out pretty easily. So I'm going to put this on a little bit of a 2x speed over here because this one does take a little bit of time. You're essentially waiting for the opportunity to get through and take care of GI, basically. Every time they're gaining turn meter, they are hurting themselves under Ahsoka's leadership, and she's just got such good survivability, basically, that she can just take all the punishment. You have to worry a little bit about the torture, the heal immunity, and that sort of stuff, but generally speaking, once you've gotten rid of the ads, there's nothing that Reva can do to you. There we go, we took out 7th Sister, we've taken out Reva once, and GI over there is looking very, very peaky. Unfortunately, we can't ignore the taunts, and Reva does like to taunt quite a bit, but I love this counter. This is such a cool counter to me, because it's like, if I'm using my Ezra with... If I use Ezra with my GL Ray under the current setup, I need something for my Ahsoka to take care of. That's a high value counter in my book. Next up, we are going to be using Afra and the droids to take out a Finn Zori team. This is a very, very common team on defense at the moment. Afra handles it pretty well. You've got the AoE cooldown increase. You've got loads of damage out of characters like BT1. If you've got an Attackacron, this goes absolutely nuts. I don't think I did, so I just threw on like a really high potency Datacron to really get the most use out of Afra's leadership and the ability to pass additional stats essentially over to the murder droids based on her potency. So we stall out a little bit on Finn over here, not too drastically. I get a little bit concerned seeing that expose on my Afra. I'm like, uh-oh, expose and heal immunity. I come back in, call in the droid once again. He gets stunned. I'm like, will you let my droid take a turn, please? But they refuse. They keep on stunning my droid. It's really frustrating. Increase the cooldowns, increase our siphon. Eventually, when we get a turn, there we go. Big, big hit over there. You just need that one opportunity. I need to mod those guys better. Time for another boo-boo. This one's normally quite a fun counter to do. EPSK with Thrawn to take down the Imperial might of Tarkin, Scorch, and Disguised Clone Trooper. Those guys can pack an absolute wallop. Usually, I go first. I didn't go first here, and I was like, crap. We're screwed. We're totally screwed. We can't do anything. So yeah, we got absolutely wrecked there. Another dropped battle. So I decided to go in and clear it up using Jabber. I was like, yeah, maybe this is a little bit overkill, but you know what? They absolutely wrecked my face last time, so I need some vengeance. Jabber over here, pretty safe counter. You do have to worry a little bit about Tarkin. That AoE, a lot of people have got R9 Tarkin these days. The AoE from his first special does crazy damage. You can see Bausch over there is looking real peaky, and mine's an R8 Bausch. It's not like she's R5 or anything like that. My focus here is trying to get rid of Disguised Clone Trooper so he doesn't have access to massive damage, but really I probably should have focused on Grand Moff Tarkin. All that stealth is really, really frustrating. I probably, again, should have focused on Grand Moff Tarkin. He is difficult to kill. Defense reduces your damage dealt by thermal detonators. So every time that he's gaining that additional defense from using his basic, because he gains defense based on his potency or something like that, we just do next to nothing, and that's what I was worried about. I was worried about him AoEing out my Bausch, and he did, of course, and we were just a little bit too late taking out that the Grand Moff over there. So at this point it's fine, we put it on full auto, and eventually we will defeat Scorch. He's a very tanky individual, as you can see, but eventually we will just get to an ult with Jabber and we can eat Scorch. Can't imagine that goes down too well. You know, that big backpack he's got is probably not particularly tasty for a Rancor to eat, but hey, eventually get there. Got him. 34. This was brutal. Next up, we've got Bo-Katan Bo-Katan Mandalore. I don't have Nihilus on offense, so I have Nihilus sat with a defensive team right now, and we use Talon with an Attackacron. I use the Attackacron because Attackacron does a lot of good work against Bo-Katan, thanks to all that Ancestral Resolve, which counts as a buff, which means, you know, when we attack her with an attacker, we're going to do boatloads of damage, because she's going to slowly raise up those stacks of Ancestral Resolve, which means we do more and more and more and more damage. So I'm quite happy with this one. It was a pretty cool counter. My Darth Talon's only Relic 5, and she still did significant amounts of damage. I just kept on keeping Paz isolated. Big hit coming out of my girl over there. She gets the kill on Bo-Katan Mandalore as well, which is absolutely huge. Love to see it. So I found a use for my Treo without Nihilus. Quite a good counter. 57 banners is very respectable. We don't have too much to worry about in terms of fleet. He went very light on fleet defense, and I always go heavy fleet offense. I take all my meta fleets for offense because I hate bailing out on fleets. So many times, like, one little bit of bad RNG doesn't just cost you the fleet battle, it often costs you the GAC, because you get some bad RNG versus Leviathan, and then all of a sudden you can't clear fleet, and that just ends. It doesn't matter how good your ground game is, it just ends your GAC victory there. So I like to take all of my fleets for offense, meta fleets for offense in GAC, just because that's how I roll. Profundity here versus Home 1 is one of the better counters to Profundity. You stop all their turn meter games, basically, to the Home 1, sorry, not Profundity. I like to focus in on Raven's Claw nice and early so that it can't pass all that avoid taunting abilities when you've got Foresight. After you get rid of Raven's Claw, it's usually best to go after the B-Wing, because that thing is still a nuisance and it still dodges all the time. Like, all the time, dodging. Take care of Wedge over here, and then focus back over onto the Rebel B-Wing. I'm not calling in my reinforcement because I'm trying to save some banners. As you know, this match was very, very messy. So I was just like, uh-oh. Let's make sure we try to get some banner recovery at the very least. There we go. We call in our capital ship over here. We get him to take out the enemy Home 1 and clear up nice and easy. Not too bad. Negotiator, we go in with Bounty Hunters and just a single reinforcement. I like to use Negotiator versus the Bounty Hunters because you can focus down on Anakin nice and early. You can usually trigger Unending Loyalty, which makes them use it again, but he's going to be marked so he can't get around it. Stops them using their AoE, stops them getting the days out. In my opinion, super easy way of dealing with this fleet. It's also quite banner efficient, I find. It can go a little bit squiffy sometimes. Call in Xanadu Blood, just get the focus down over there. I should have just ignored the BTLB Y-Wing. I don't know why I didn't ignore it. It's a weird choice from me, but there we go. I wasn't thinking clearly. Taking out the Marauder, it is a scary unit. That thing can one-tap you, so you need to take him out nice and early in my experience. Healing up on the the Profundity, punishing one. Oh god, I can speak, guys. I know the units. Taking out the Umbaran Starfighter nice and quick, and we end it on a 76 banner, which is good banner victory. Finally, we have got this Tarkin fleet. This Tarkin fleet is designed to basically bleed banners, right? It's designed to make sure that you drop banners on it. I take in the Leviathan fleet, and I don't think I take any reinforcements with this. So it's a little bit drawn out, takes a little bit of time, but eventually you do win. You get to control the enemy ship really, really well. You get to ultimate, and they can't really do a whole lot. So you offset the banner bleed that you'll get from this just by slowly tipping away at the fleet and not dying, essentially. I'm pretty sure I didn't take in a reinforcement, so... He brings in his first one, it's the Scythe. They lose it immediately. They do get the 2 summoned ships. Not concerned about those at all. Not really. They don't really do a whole lot. All they're doing is dragging out the battle. One AoE takes care of one, nearly takes care of the other one as well. And we just go ahead and drop face. So I'm going after the Gauntlet because those 2 ships are just designed for stability. They keep on keeping the other ships alive. Gauntlet's first special will cleanse all the debuffs and give you bonus protection, and the shuttle over there is going to be healing up and forcing taunts and all that sort of good business. So very frustrating fleet to go up against, but that's why I tend to use the Leviathan to try to circumvent as much banner bleed as I possibly can. So we end up here really strong, I think, on banners. I think we dropped 1. Yeah, 76 banners there. So really good performance on fleet, which is great, making up for my terrible ground game, essentially. Backwall still has some... First up, we have got a crew, a Slacker, Hux, and Sith fighter setup. I'm taking in JMK Cat with 5s. If they had, you know, like TIE Fighter Pilot Cron, if they had Darkside Vision Ray, I wouldn't try to use this team, truth be told. But hey, this felt really safe to me. I think Slacker is way too valuable on offense right now. He's like the best counter to Rey, and I think Rey is the dangerous team in the game right now. Rey Attackacron is like the most important thing to get rid of. So personally, I always like to keep Slacker for offense. But he put it on defense and got a 57. Nothing special there. We decided to take in our Relic 10 Wampa here versus Tuskens. Now, I don't throw an Attackacron on it. We really don't need to. So I just find any old Cron, essentially. What do we want? Yeah, basics giving us crit chance up and crit damage up. This should be absolutely fine. If we... Case in point, immediate counterattack. Counterattacks coming in clutch over here, just absolutely slapping them down. It takes a little bit of time. Obviously, we need to ramp up our offense so that we can kill all these guys in 1 AoE. I've got a +5 relic delta here because of the R10 Wampa, so it's like, yeah, should be absolutely easy. We are already basicing one shot. Just need to keep killing them. So every opportunity you get, always trying to roar. Every time we roar with this Omicron, I think we gain like 30% offense. So ramping up the damage, ramping up the damage, ramping up the damage, so that eventually that one big ground pound is going to slap them out of this existence. There we go. We got rid of the main there, so it's just the Raider and his summoned unit. So the only way that we can win this is if we defeat both of them in one hit, like that. 59. It's good use. I did use that in another round, and we didn't get a single counterattack, and we died immediately. It was very sad. I decided to give Qui-Gon Jinn Omicron a test. I thought with the Attackacron, that could do some great work. Unfortunately, did you see that damage? Holy moly. That was a lot of damage. Let's go back to normal speed over here, just while we watch that attack drop there. So, yeah. 138,000 coming out of Zalbar, immediately taking out my Anakin. I was like, okay. And we got 100k damage on the AoE over there on Cam. I was like, okay, I guess we die. I was hoping that we would still kill Darth Revan. We didn't. I submitted it because mission's dead now, so the Omicron can't really activate. A little bit of a shame to get an extra drop there, but hey-ho, it is the way it is. I decided to take in Gas over here. Figured Gas, even though I don't have Wrexham 5s, should be absolutely no problem for us to clear through. We don't need anything special here. It's just an R9 DR and an R7 Zalbar or something like that. They don't really have synergy now that the Omicron is not really active. So just focus in on the Zalbar, take him out lickety-split, and pretty sure that Revan will die pretty much immediately. Counterattacks here, boom, there goes Revan. So yeah, yet another drop. This is one of the messiest GACs I've ever had. So I still had Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. I had Slacker still available because I was so certain this guy would have Rey on defense. I was like, this guy will set Rey on defense. I've got to save Slacker for it. And he just didn't. So he's got the Bo-Katan, but obviously Darkside Vision Rey, Special Forces TIE Fighter Pilot with their Cron kind of trumps Bo-Katan pretty heavily. So we didn't struggle in the slightest there, 57. And I'm sure nobody is surprised by that outcome at all. Final team on the board then, it's Trench. Trench fully on the bench, and we've still got some good teams. We've still got Reva, we've still got Queen Amidala, we've still got some other stuff. Looks like I go in with Queen Amidala and the Poncho Bros over here. I'm all out of attacker crons, unfortunately, so I can't use any more of those. So I'm just looking for something with a boatload of armor penetration. Like, yeah, 200% plus armor penetration is going to do some good work. Immediately, all you want to do is just focus down on Admiral Trench. Let's be real. Take care of Trench, and the rest of it just kind of falls. Anakin. Padawan Obi-Wan, sorry, just doing Padawan Obi-Wan stuff. Just attacking under that protection, which is most of Trench's viability, essentially. Because he loses max health and applies it to protection, right? So easier and easier to defeat him when you attack under protection. Jango Fett, just kind of chilling over there. Just kind of chilling. Waiting for him to come out of damage immunity, and that is going to be the end of this particular GAC. We'll have a review and see how our opponent get on in a second. Come on, come on, let's go. Jango, take a turn, buddy. Take a turn, buddy. I know you can do it. I believe in you, Jango. Let's go. Jango, seriously, bro. There we go. He's taking his turn so we can take care of him. 57. So that's our end score there. We had 1980. Pretty terrible in terms of score. Let's see what our opponent did. We did get the win in the end because he had a little bit of a nightmare. As you can see, he scored 36 banners. We go down south, and he couldn't kill the Lord Vader team, and he took 2 versus Pirate King Hondo and left Pirate King Hondo, and 4 attempts on Rey. Again, this is why I say save Slacker for Rey, because Slacker deals with Rey, like the most reliable counter in the game right now to Rey. So having that there, obviously he didn't have the teams then left over. He probably wasted too much trying to take out the GL Rey team. Didn't have the counters that he needed then to take out these 2. Is what it is. A nice easy win for us there, even if we were incredibly messy. Even if we were incredibly messy offensively, it didn't matter because our defense did its job and held up. It was a fun match. It was a real fun match. I had a fun going over it and revisiting it. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. If you want more GAC catch-ups, let me know. I'll keep doing them. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.